I gotta be honest with y'all. Um, Listening back to yesterday's podcast, it sucked, or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a podcast. It's just like public therapy sessions for me. But it sucked. It wasn't fun to listen to. It was way too self-aggrandizing, and lately I've been feeling like I've been lost in the sauce, as the legendary Gucci Man would say. Uh, and that's not who I want to be, you know? Because at the end of the day, I have a lot that I could be proud of, but why be proud of that when I'm nowhere near where I want to be in real life? You know what I mean? Um, I talked to I talked to my girl a couple days ago, and I told her I was just like, man, I feel like lately, ever since I've been doing all this big stuff, got these big features and been making these big moves and stuff, I feel like a lot of my fan base has just kind of like dissipated, like they don't care anymore. And she said you need to bring yourself down a couple levels. You come across as like a know-it-all sometimes, and you talk down at people, and she's very right. I have been doing that a lot more lately, and I notice it because I scroll through social media and I see people talking, and it just pisses me off because they just talk like they're the authority on shit, and it pisses me off when I see that. But I realize now that I've been doing the same thing, and some stuff I am qualified to speak on, I think especially in music and stuff like that, I've seen a lot of stuff, and I'm very knowledgeable on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, like, I'm still just a human with insecurities. You know what I mean? Like, I struggle with bills, and I wonder how I'm gonna pay rent and all of this shit too. So it's like, for me to be sitting in front of a camera and speaking to y'all as if I'm some type of authority or some shit, it's just bogus as fuck, bro. And kind of embarrassing for me, like, for me to go back and watch myself act like that, because it's like, who the fuck are you, bro? And I know that some people, there are people out there who view me as, somebody that they look up to and stuff. And I'm not trying to downplay that, because I have worked hard to get to that point, and I appreciate those people more than anything. Those people are my confidence on days where I don't know if I want to keep going. But at the end of the day, I'm still fucking nobody, you know? So I want to take another crack at this. Cuz like I said yesterday, I did the episode, and then after the episode, I didn't watch the full thing through. It was like 32 minutes long, and I had a busy day yesterday, but I just scrolled through, like, and checked parts of it looking for clips to post, and every clip that I saw was just like, this is why I'm right about this, and this is why I'm right about that. And I was just like, I was looking at myself like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not providing any real value with any of this shit. You're just spewing your opinions as if they matter. And not to say my opinions don't matter. I think my opinions on things matter, but they don't matter maybe as much as I was acting like they did. And I'd like to be a better person. I'd like to be a better leader for the people who do follow me, and I'd like to be I'd like to be more like the people who I respect most. And the people who I respect the most in life, they don't do that, you know? And everything, and it comes from a place of good intention. It honestly does. It's because I see these things in life and in the way the world works, and I'm like, oh, I'm having a lot of revelations lately, and that's kind of what led me into getting lost in the sauce, because I'm learning so much right now, and in my mind, when I talk to y'all, I'm like, I need to tell them about this, I need to tell them about that. You know, I have the potential to change some of these people's lives, especially some of the people who follow me closely and really love what I do and say. But at the end of the day, how I came to these revelations wasn't by people telling me, you know, this is the right way to think. It wasn't by that at all. It was by them leading through their actions. And that's what I need to do more of, is just keep conversations a little bit more lighthearted and be a little more humble, you know, bring myself down a couple notches. I really need to. So, if anybody sat through the entire 30 minutes of self-righteous, narcissistic bullshit that I put out yesterday, I apologize. You know, even if you didn't view it as that, that's what it was. And I need to do better, you know? This is only my second episode. I'll get better at it. You know, I know I will. But that wasn't it, Chief, you know? Yeah. To everybody that is rocking with me, though, and that does love what I do, I appreciate y'all, man. To be honest with you, I don't deserve it. I mean, I guess I've worked hard for it. I've earned it in that sense, but at the end of the day, I'm just a fucking idiot with a microphone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an expert on very few things. I do consider myself an expert on music, and I put in far more than 10,000 hours into the craft of making music and stuff like that. But I wouldn't even consider myself an expert on music at this point, because there's people who have been doing this a far shorter amount of time who have made it a way further distance than what I have, you know? And yeah, like, I'm not qualified to give anybody advice. I mean, I'm qualified to give you advice if you want to get to the next level that I'm at, but as far as making it in the music industry or anything remotely close to that, I'm not qualified to give y'all advice, man. And next time somebody asks me for advice like that, I think I'm just going to tell them no, because I don't know, you know? The fact of the matter is I am talented. I do believe that, but I've gotten extremely lucky to meet people who have extended grace to me and taught me things, and I shouldn't take that for granted. You know, so going into episode 2 and just going into the future, not even just within this show, I'm going to make an honest attempt to be a lot less self-righteous, because at this point it's unwarranted. And I think a big part of it too is that I watch the content that I consume, mostly the bulk of the content that I consume is, I listen to a lot of doctors and I listen to a lot of professionals talking about psychology and philosophy and just life, and that's how they talk. They are authorities on those subjects, though. You know what I'm saying? And these people have gone to school for years and years and years and really dedicated their lives to philosophy and to psychology and to things like that. And so then I turn around and get on here and almost copy them, but I don't have the same credentials that they do. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking to my girl, it was like, I was like, she said something and it registered with me. She said, people, like, because she said, you come off as preachy and people don't want to hear that shit. And I said, correction, I think people do want to hear that shit, but they don't want to hear that shit from me. And me either, like when I go to YouTube or Spotify or whatever and I want to listen to somebody talk about how to be a better person, I don't want to listen to a rapper who, a couple years ago was selling me weed or blacking out, getting drunk at concerts. That person is not an authority on self-help or psychology. So I need to bring myself down a couple notches, man. And it's very easy in this industry to get lost in the sauce, especially when you start getting bigger features and stuff like that, because people will come around you and they'll make you feel like you're that dude. And in some ways you are that dude maybe, but not in every way. But in my brain, at least in my experience, I guess I just started to feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I start to feel like people tell me, see, that's the thing about it is like you can't take the love any more serious than you take the hate. When people comment hateful things or they try to bring you down, everybody's advice is don't take them serious. Don't take them serious. But you got to keep that same energy when people are showing you love too. And I don't mean that I don't appreciate the love or I don't take you serious if you show me love. But I mean that the people that are showing me all this love, it's no different than the people showing me all this hate that don't know me. The only thing that really matters is your family, friends, people who actually know you, and people who are actually affected in your life. That's who you really gotta listen to. Fuck what some strangers on the internet say, for good or for bad. To be honest, how does your girl feel about you? How does your daughter feel about you? How does your mom, your dad, what did they think about you? And I'm not saying they all have to agree with every decision you make. Sometimes you're going to do things that they don't agree with. And you got to be strong enough to know what you really want and what's really good for you. But, these people on the internet, they don't know you like that. For better or for worse. Whether they're hating on you or showing you love, they don't know you like that. They don't know you well enough to hate you, and they don't know you well enough to love you. So, yeah, I really need to bring myself down a couple notches and recognize how extremely lucky I am to have a fan base, to have a following, to have anybody who gives a fuck when I drop music, man. Anybody. And it's not that many people. I'm not sitting here saying like, it's not that many people in the grand scheme of things. I got a few people who really give a fuck about what I'm doing. And, not a few. I mean, it's more than a few. I'm trying very hard to be honest with myself and to not shit on myself too much, but also to not be self-righteous or to not, be self-aggrandizing. I think that's the key to longevity, the key to success, the key to whatever you want to call it, is just being extremely honest with yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better artist, a better businessman, a better father, a better, and that's the thing about it too, is just like, y'all can see me, getting these major plays in music or what you perceive to be major plays or just doing it big in whatever areas I may do it big occasionally. But it's so much going on behind the scenes, bro. Like I don't even have the greatest relationship with my daughter, bro. And I would love to. But it's people out there who have 100 monthly listeners on Spotify, and they see me and they're like, oh, I wish I had what he has. But I see them and they got a great relationship with their kids. They see their kids every day and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, you know, I don't even have a good relationship with my daughter. I mean, I see her and stuff, but number one, not as much as I'd like to. And number two, I'm just not as close with her as I'd like to be. And it's largely my fault, you know, because I've been chasing this dream or this goal, and this whole time I've said, and I'm doing it for the right reasons. I really am. You know, I'm doing it because I want to be able to take care of her. And I bypassed the college route and this and that. And I feel like I'm so close. I'm so close to being able to put her through college and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I that's one of my insecurities is I look back at it and I'm like, was it all is this all for nothing? You know what I mean? And I guess that's one of my biggest motivating factors is like, I can't let this be all for nothing. And so I think that it's almost a defense mechanism for myself. The self-righteous talk or the self-aggrandizing is it's a defense weapon or a defense technique for myself, because if I sit here and I self-aggrandize, then I don't feel so much like maybe this is all for nothing. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not there yet. I'm not that successful yet. For the first time in my life over the past couple years, I'm finally paying bills and shit. I mean, before that, it was a crapshoot whether I was going to pay my bills every month. And even now, I'm struggling to pay a lot of my bills. I'm not trying to stunt like I'm rich or nothing. So I need to let go of my insecurities and stop acting like I got this shit all figured out, because I don't got this shit all figured out. I got it more figured out than I did a year ago. I got it more figured out than I did 5 years ago. But from where I am right now and from where I want to be and where I believe I truly could be, it's a big gap. You know what I mean? I had a coffee somewhere around here. I would love to have a drink of that right now, but I don't know where it went. So yeah, I'm sorry if this is a dark and somber way to start your Wednesday, but it needed to be said. I refuse to be somebody who gets on here and pretends and feeds my following, however small or big it gets, some self-aggrandizing bullshit. That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That's not what the people who I respect do. You know? So yeah. With that being said, I mean, what can we get into today? Fuck, man. You know, it's too deep of a topic to just switch over to current events, you know? But it's some real shit that needed to be said. I'm a very anxious person. Extremely anxious. And when I was younger, when I was like a teenager, early 20s, I experienced zero anxiety. None. No, I didn't know what anxiety was. You know, people would say they experience anxiety, and I would be like, I don't know what that means. You know, and now I'm older and I get anxious about everything. 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 I wake up in the morning and feel like I'm dying, like for no reason. You know? I wake up in the morning and just any little thing, you know, like any I feel a little pain in my body, and I'm like, oh, there we go, I'm dead, you know? And I think that that starts manifesting itself in other ways up into, it gets very complicated. It's not that I feel anxiety and I'm like, oh, so let me go to, I guess it is though. I feel anxiety and I say, well, let me go act self-righteous on the internet so that I can distract myself from the fact that I really feel anxious about my life. And maybe that's why I'm so afraid to die. I'm so afraid of death. So afraid of it. Sometimes I sit there and think about dying and not existing anymore, and I get so scared that I shake. And maybe deep down it's because I know that I'm not living up to my full potential. That doesn't I'm making attempts to be better and to get there. I am, but at this point right now, I'm not living up to my full potential. And maybe that's the only thing that will truly cure my fears and those intrusive thoughts is becoming the person that I know I could be. You know? Maybe if I was somebody who I respected more, then I wouldn't be so afraid to let go of life. I've been taking life way too serious lately, and I think that's why. Because I'm overcompensating for the fact that I spent so much time doing shit that I knew deep down wasn't what I should be doing. Just running around and, you know, wasting time. You know what I mean? Just worried about all of the wrong shit in life. I think that, and don't get me wrong, I think it's important to let loose and have fun too. It is. And that's kind of what, I don't know, like I guess that's what I'm saying is I spent so long doing nothing but letting loose and having fun that now I feel like I need to overcompensate for that and I need to take life super super serious. But I'm taking life too serious and I'm taking myself too serious. And every little thing that happens, I'm looking at it just way too seriously. Like, so you got a feature from a bigger artist, so what? Who gives a fuck? People don't give a fuck, bro. You know, the same way when somebody comments on my post and they say, you're a fucking idiot, I hate your music. I know deep down they don't actually care. They're doing that because they're unhappy with themselves or whatever. But it's the same thing when somebody comments something positive that doesn't know you. And I'm not talking about, you know, the people who I have relationships with, you know, the people who I've known for years and stuff like that. I think they probably do care because they have some type of personal connection to me. But the other people, you know, if I post something on the internet and, you know, Cat Lover 69 comments and says, "Oh my God, bro, you're so incredible," you know, I feel like you don't even know that about me. It's like the opposite effect. It's like haters will post negative shit because they're unhappy with themselves, but also sometimes fans will post positive shit because they're happy with themselves. Or maybe I provided them with some something positive in their life, but big fucking deal. Who cares? You provided that, like, you should be doing that. I should be doing that. That's my job. You know, it's like if I worked at McDonald's and I thought that I was the shit because I made a cheeseburger. It's like, So what? Like that's what you do. That's your job. So yeah, I'm gonna work at being better, and I'm gonna work at just taking myself and taking life a lot less seriously. I'm gonna I don't know. And I want to find something that I can do to help people. I think if I was able to help more people, I think it would fix a lot of that. I need to humble myself. Maybe maybe volunteer somewhere or something like that. When I was a kid, my mom would my mom and I would go to Salvation Army on Christmas, and we would serve people food, like volunteer just to, and we would just serve homeless people food. And I think that I need to get back to doing stuff like that. I think that it made me a lot healthier in my own mind, because I need to do things like that to humble myself. I get so focused on working and being in the studio and trying to make major moves and trying to climb up the ladder, so to speak. And you know, maybe once in a while, I need to reach down and bring somebody up that ladder. It is hard to do though, because there's artists that I would love to help and work with and produce for, or collab with. But at the end of the day, this is still a business, and I do still have to pay my bills. So it's hard to find that balance of how do I maintain value and also help other people without expecting anything in return. I don't know. I guess I don't know what the answer to that problem is quite yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But one thing is for sure, and that's it. I've been taking myself and life and this business way too serious. Nobody makes it out alive. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep today's episode short and sweet and leave it at that. Just because I'm kind of in a mood where I'm just like disgusted with myself. I really am. I'm just like, after looking at how I've been talking on Facebook and how I talked in the podcast yesterday. I need to stop calling it a podcast, because I don't want it. I don't want to market it as that. I just want these to be like therapy sessions that I put out on YouTube. I'm not even making these to have a YouTube channel. I'm making these because I need content for my other channels. And so I'm like, why don't I just sit here and talk for a while every day, or a couple times a week or whatever, and then I have clips that I can post to my social media and get my points across in video form. So it's not even really a podcast. It's just a show. But uh yeah, so I've been seeing how I've been talking and how I've been acting, and how I've been viewing myself in my own mind, my perception of self. And it's just gross. I've been doing a lot of the things that I hate when other people do. And they say that you notice the traits that you hate in other people are traits that you yourself hold. That's what they say. I don't know who they is, but like psychologists, I guess. And I think that shit is very true. I log into these social media sites and I see people do things, and I'm just like, ugh, like shut up. Like shut up. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? But then I scroll through my Facebook or my Twitter or my TikTok, IG, whatever it is, and I'm doing the same shit. Sometimes to a larger extent. So yeah, I think that this episode has been very somber, sad, and I'm not trying to be negative. I know that this episode is kind of negative, and that's not how every episode's gonna be, but it's how this episode needed to be. I needed to bring myself back down. Like I said, these videos that I'm posting are pretty much like therapy sessions for me. And I'm not proud of how yesterday's went. I'm not. I'm not proud of who I've been lately. And I know that that's probably not what I should be, that's not how I should be marketing myself. That's not, but it's real, bro. At the end of the day, like, if I'm being 100% honest with myself and being 100% honest with my following, fan base, whatever you want to call it, I don't even want to call it a fan base anymore. Like, who do I think I fucking am? ASAP Rocky? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a fan base, it's a community of people who really support me. And to sit here and be like, my fans this, my fans that, it's just fucking gross. And maybe if I was more like who I wanted to be, I wouldn't feel that way about it. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like right now I haven't earned the right to talk the way that I've been talking a lot. I really haven't. I put a lot of blood, sweat, tears into my art and into giving people music, the best music that I can. And honestly, I do feel like it's been really good music, but there's so much left to do. It's like the equivalent of like being a bench player in the NBA and going on Twitter like you're, you know what I mean? Like you're LeBron, like you're Antetokounmpo or whoever, and pick a legend, And I just wanted to say that I will do better. I am becoming a better leader. At the end of the day, I do want to be a leader, and I'm not saying that in a self-aggrandizing way. I'm saying that I've seen a lot and been through a lot, and I have the power to teach people things if I can harness my experiences the right way. And I haven't been doing it the right way. I've been doing it in a very cheap, self-righteous way. And I'll probably still mess up from time to time. I'll probably still say things that I look back at and I think, yeah, you kind of sound like a dickhead. And that's okay. Mistakes are part of the process. Even what I did yesterday and even how I've been talking on Facebook and stuff like that recently, it's okay. I mean, it's not who I want to be. I don't think it's the right thing. Damn, there's a little fly flying around. But it's not anything I can't come back from. It's just not who I want to be. It's all part of the process, baby. And whether you believe in whatever you believe in, whatever religion it is, whether it's astrology, the universe, whatever you believe in, whatever you believe is running all of this shit, that's who you got to give it up to. Everything. The same way you give let's just call it God. It ain't got to be God. Whatever you believe in, that's who you got to give it up to. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. And I'm going to work on doing a better job of that. And to the people who believe in me and who are still rocking with me, thank you so much. To the people who hold me accountable for the things that I say, thank you so much. My family, my friends, the people who listen to my music on a regular basis, the people who share it, tag me. Y'all are the reason I do this, and y'all are the reason I'm able to do this. I love y'all, man. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow or in the near future with something maybe a little bit more lighthearted. But I had to say this. I had to be honest with myself, and I had to be honest with y'all. I love y'all, man. Foreign to 'em.